Hi everyone, my name's Pan and welcome to another edition of Bluebird Corner, the Cardiff City Fans podcast. First of all, I want to say sorry for not doing the draw for the July gift card prize yesterday. As I mentioned I would, it was supposed to be on Friday and then we delayed it to Saturday after the game. So I had a few things going on which weren't expected, so I couldn't get a podcast out. So sorry about that. We'll do the draw today. Loads to talk about. We're going to talk about the game yesterday against Peterborough United and a couple of things going on off the field. And I said at the end, we'll do the gift card draw. So Cardiff City get off to a great start, winning their first home game of the season. Great crowd. I was expecting 17,500 tops with 1,000 Peterborough fans, obviously including that. So nearly get 20,000 for our first game was great to see a lot of fans there with Cardiff City's tops on as well, which is fantastic. So that was a real positive before the game to see that many fans in the stadium, and let's hope that continues. So in terms of the starting 11, there's a couple of surprises, I suppose. One was the Colwell brothers both started, and I think Lawler we expected to start, but Matthew Turner in goal was a little bit of a surprise to me, thinking we might go for a bit more experience. And so there was a couple of little surprises there. And I think the one thing I picked out before the game was there was 5 Welsh players actually starting that game. And I was thinking back, my memory's not as great as it used to be, but thinking back to all the years when I started watching City from 1980, I was trying to think of a time when we had 5 Welsh-born players start a game for Cardiff City. And I'm, thinking back a few years back, obviously with the Ledleys and Ramseys and stuff like that, we had a few players, obviously you played, but I can't recall, and maybe someone can tell me, when was the last time 5 Welsh-born players started a game for Cardiff City? Because I'm thinking, going back to when I started watching a City as a 10-year-old many years ago, I can't think of one that comes to mind where we might have had 4 players, but 5, I think that's unbelievable. And I think the age of most of that side, was it under 22? The average age, most of them were under 22. Wintle was the most experienced player on that pitch. So it was great to see so many youngsters start. And we'll go through the game itself. Obviously, and then we'll look at the players' performance. We'll analyse that and see where we go from here in terms of the next game. And as I said, a couple of things off the field I wanted to discuss as well. So first of all, the game itself. Yeah, we dominated possession, didn't we? I think, a lot of fans around me thinking that, Peterborough really, they're not going to be, they're going to be bottom 10, this season without question. They're not going to be one of the better sides in the league. So, but it is the first game of the season and it's not easy, especially having all those youngsters out there. It's not easy. And we played really well. I mean, the way Brian Barry Murphy set out, the high press initially, they weren't having much time on the ball. I don't think they got out that half much, if only once or twice. And, the balls were sweeping out from Wintle and Colwell, etc., out to the wings. I think Tanner looked really sharp. Joe Colwell, for me, looked really busy and industrious in that midfield. And, it was good to see Lawler start the game. And as I said, Capaccio, Matthew Turner as well. So there's a lot of youngsters out there. And, first half, as I said, we had a lot of the ball. There were chances created. Colwell missed a fairly good chance. There was other chances as well. But we were dominant in play. So it was a real shock, really, when Peterborough got that penalty. And let's be honest with you, that ref was a joke. This is probably what we're going to expect in league. Well, we shouldn't expect it. I mean, these guys are paid well, these referees. There's no excuses. And let's be honest, in the match, what did he give? 3-4 yellow cards for City players, and was it 1 for them late on in the 85th minute? He was very, very poor. I mean, that penalty, yes, it was a mistake. Was it Fish Lawler in defence that sort of got us into a pickle? But there was no way that ball we took the player out. You could clearly see the ball was taken first. And it definitely wasn't a penalty, and they didn't deserve that. Cardiff, the team, and to go 1-0 down. I thought Matthew Turner tried his best there with that, but it was a very well taken penalty. And to be 1-0 down half time, that wasn't a true reflection of the game. But fair dues. I mean, coming out second half, as I said, it's a very young team, inexperienced. A few boos half time, but that was related to the ref. But that the players picked that up. They don't know how the fans are feeling. But to be honest, the support in the second half was fantastic, and to get that goal from Colwell, I mean, it was Gareth Bale-esque. I was thinking back to the Wales-Austria game, which is probably the best goal I've ever seen at the Cardiff City Stadium. That was up there, let's be honest. And I don't care what Premier League Championship goalkeeper was in that position. I don't think anyone would have saved that. That was pinpoint accuracy there by Cole with a great technique, really great technique. I don't think anyone was expecting the shot. I wasn't. I was in the canton on the side, and we were thinking it was going to be a cross-in. But, Colwell, he takes a lot of criticism from fans, including myself. But what I did notice in that game, as club captain, with Chambers being suspended, he did lead from the front. I was seeing him heading the ball. I mean, that's something he has really improved on, because he never competed, or he never won, balls in the air last season. And he must have won more in that game, or competed for more, than he's ever done last season. So that's a part of his game he's definitely improved. And his work rate was really strong. So I was really impressed to see Colwell do that. And let's hope that continues. But also his brother Joe. I think Joe Colwell he was so busy in that midfield. He was like a terrier, and he certainly deserved his place in the side. And then obviously, Matthew Turner in goal had to make one or two saves in the game. But that again, Tanner out wide, ball to Capaccio, and let's be honest, Capaccio as a wing back for his age, he's going to have a strong future, a really good future ahead of him. And that was a really well taken goal. We should have scored another one. Robinson coming off the bench should have scored, but as I said, a win. We deserved a win. Peterborough let's be honest, Peterborough aren't going to be anywhere near the top, so we have to be realistic about that game. We were expected to win the game. We were home, but there's a lot of young players there. They're going to go through moments of making mistakes. There were certainly mistakes by Lawler. Capaccio late on, where he had two around him and tried to do too much, but they had a good shot and Turner saved that. But it was a well-deserved win, and I'm really looking forward now to Tuesday's game. 2,000 City fans going up. Should be a great atmosphere. I think that's live as well on Sky. So we've really got off to a good start, and that's encouraging to see. Right, as regards to off the field, as you probably would have known, is that David Turnbull was dropped from the team. He was probably expected to be in the team, and there was an issue supposedly in training where Turnbull didn't follow a process. Was the word that he was used by BBM. What that is, we don't know, but that is disappointing if that's the case. That could be a number one things, and we don't want to speculate. It's not about him not turning up to training. Maybe it could have been that he didn't do something that he was expected to do in training. But these are professional players, and for a player of Turnbull's experience not to follow that or do that is a big disappointment. And it would lead me also to believe, and I mentioned this before, that there's another £1 million to be paid if Turnbull triggers so many appearances. And I wouldn't be surprised if Turnbull does go in the next couple of weeks for maybe a couple of £1 million. If we can get that, I think a championship club would come in for him. But, it is disappointed, especially the first game of the season, that's happened. You do have to question the player. They know what they're supposed to do. There's the manager and the coaching team there have got certain demands on players. And if he hasn't followed the process in training, well, that's down to him. Then you go on to Dalman's statement in terms of the bids that are supposedly come in. And, this is a thing with Cardiff City. I mean, he did come out with a lot of good information yesterday in terms of this nonsense supposed bid from South Africa, Gary Otto, is what it is. Total rubbish. With due diligence, as he said, if you are going to make a genuine bid, I mean, I could ring up tomorrow and speak to Dalman or the club and say, look, I want to bid 48 million for the club. But they want it. They want to know you've got the money in your account. They want to also know, and it's not just about selling the club for the value that Tan believes it is worth, but also on top of that, he doesn't want to give the club to someone who may not be investing in the club. We've had it in the past many years ago. If you remember, Samish Kumar came in the 80s, a total joke, and that thankfully didn't last long. There are unscrupulous people out there, and obviously you as Dalman said, that for a genuine bid, it's knowing that they've got the money in their account. It's knowing that they want to know their accountant's name. They want to know details of their lawyers. So, and as I said, they have to make sure that the due diligence is done on the prospective buyer, in terms of they are, a proper business owner or whatever, and there aren't any skeletons in the closet. So there's four processes that everyone has to follow, and we've had, so Dalman said, one credible bid. That's not the Bale one, because I think the Bale one, wasn't done in the professional way it should have been done. I think I mentioned in pod that the offer was 40 million. That was, I think the second bid was 42, nowhere near 50. So reality is, that wasn't done in the correct way. So that was disappointing. So there is one credible bid on the table. And what that means is that someone's followed the correct process professionally, as Dalman stated, but they haven't met the value that that Tan and wants for the club, nowhere near, supposedly. So it looks as if Tan will be there definitely this season, and then obviously in the Championship, it's whether someone would pay a little bit more. But there is one credible bid out there, so maybe fingers crossed, someone could come back with a better offer. So those are the two things off the field I wanted to mention. As regards to the draw, as I said, thanks very much for everyone subscribed. We've been only going 2 months. We've had 28,000 views, which is great. We've got up to nearly 250 subscribers, and it's growing all the time. These podcasts are done on a voluntary basis. And as I said, especially the Tuesday one, I've had a lot of feedback about seasons in the past, and that's gone down really well with fans, bringing back memories. So that's good to know. So all your comments are much appreciated, whether they're good or bad. They're still comments. So, and obviously if you're new to the channel, if you do subscribe, that's great. We're going to do a new competition as well, just to let you know, this month. Top Tier Cleaners have been really great, backing us from the word go. And we're going to announce that on Tuesday's podcast, that we're going to have the prizes here. So we're going to actually have Cardiff City goodies to give away. And it is a fantastic prize, worth well over £150. So watch out for that. So yeah, I've got all the names here. We've got like over 100 odd, I think 120. So thanks very much for new subscribers. And what I'll do is I'll pick one out the hat, well, out the bowl, as I say, and see which one it is. Make sure I give it a good stir around. I said well done to Simon Williams, who won our launch one in June. Right, let's have a look. This is the £250 gift card prize for July. So there we are. I can just about see that without my glasses. So Phil Johns, he's got down Ferndale. So yeah, Phil, well done. We'll get you that £250 gift card, which you can use a number of pubs and restaurants in South Wales to you. We'll be in touch. So thanks very much for everyone who's been new to the channel. As I said, we've got another really good goodie competition coming for August. So again, new subscribers will be in that. So thanks for that. So yeah, it's been a great weekend. Two amazing goals to watch, and the atmosphere was really good. And we're really looking forward to the season now. Let's hope we do get some signings. I do think we do need 3 or 4 new players in. We need some strength in depth. As I said, it's great to see Capaccio, Bacon out there, but I do feel we do need some fullbacks. I would like us to get an attacking midfield player in. We don't know if Callum Robinson's going to leave. There's a lot of speculation about him, and who knows? Let's hope we don't lose Robertson and Salic, because you can never tell if a club comes in with a big bid of 6 to 8 million. As I said, it could happen. So we'll just have to wait and see. Let's hope we don't lose our better players. What's really encouraging is our younger players. We've got so many now on the pitch, and Cardiff City fans will 100% get behind the team. So it was a great start, and me and my lads really enjoyed it. We'll do a little short podcast with the goals, and we'll put that on as well. But thanks very much for watching Blueberry Corner, and we take care, and we shall see you next Tuesday. Thank you.